It begins like most stories of forgotten treasure, with something so ordinary, so common, that it barely earns a second glance. A quarter, 25 cents. It clinks in your change jar, disappears into vending machines, and slides into parking meters unnoticed. And yet, one particular quarter minted in 2013 carries a tale so unexpected, so remarkable, that it has gone from spare change to showpiece, from ordinary currency to a collector's dream worth a staggering $65,000. This is the story of the 2013 Perry's Victory Quarter. How a simple coin became a hidden gem of modern numismatics. To understand why this quarter has become so special, we must go back. Not just to the year it was minted, but even further, to the historical event it commemorates. In 1813, during the War of 1812, a bold and daring U.S. Navy commander named Oliver Hazard Perry led American forces to a decisive victory over the British on Lake Erie. It was one of the war's most critical moments. The United States was still a young nation, struggling to define its military might and political independence. Perry's victory not only safeguarded American territory, but it also gave the country a much-needed boost in morale and confidence. His message following the battle became one of the most iconic in naval history. "We have met the enemy, and they are ours." To commemorate this historical moment and the peaceful relations that followed, the Perry's Victory and International Peace Memorial was erected in Put-in-Bay, Ohio. Towering 352 feet over Lake Erie, it honors those who fought in the battle and stands as a symbol of long-lasting peace between nations once at war. And in 2013, the United States Mint chose to celebrate this legacy with the release of a quarter as part of the America the Beautiful Quarters program, a project that featured designs representing national parks and historic sites from every state and U.S. territory. The Perry's Victory Quarter was the second release of that year. It features the Doric column memorial on the reverse, standing tall and firm, with an image of Oliver Hazard Perry in the foreground, poised and dignified, holding a telescope as he surveys the waters he once commanded. The artistry in the design is subtle but powerful. Every line, every shadow, tells a story not just of war and victory, but of peace and reflection. On the obverse, like all quarters in the series, is the familiar portrait of George Washington, framed by inscriptions of liberty, "In God We Trust," and the year of minting. Millions of these coins were struck at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints. Most went into circulation. Others were sold in mint sets or proof sets for collectors. To the casual observer, this quarter was just another commemorative coin, part of a widely appreciated but heavily produced series. But as is often the case in numismatics, it's the small details that change everything. One coin, one very specific coin, changed the story entirely. In 2013, a collector searching through a bankroll of quarters noticed something unusual. The coin in hand was clearly a Perry's Victory Quarter, but the details were off. The image looked slightly distorted. There was unexpected doubling in the inscriptions, particularly around the memorial and the figure of Perry. The edges weren't quite aligned. There was something about it that just didn't match the rest. Rather than dismissing it as a smudged strike or a damaged piece, the collector took the next step, a step that would prove monumental. The coin was submitted to a professional grading service, where experts confirmed what was almost unbelievable. This particular Perry's Victory Quarter had not only been struck off-center, but it also featured a dramatic double die error, a kind of minting mistake where the coin design is struck twice with slight misalignment. This results in parts of the design appearing doubled, especially in the letters, the finer features of the memorial, and even Perry's figure. These kinds of errors are rare. But on a coin like this, with such historical and symbolic significance, they're exceptionally rare. The coin was preserved in near-perfect condition, with minimal handling marks or wear. It was assigned a high mint state grade, elevating its value even further. And when it went to auction, the numismatic world took notice. Collectors recognized the unique blend of error rarity, pristine condition, and historical relevance. Bidding escalated quickly. What began as a simple curiosity ended in an astonishing sale. The final price? $65,000. But why? Why would a quarter, minted just a decade ago, command such a price? The answer lies at the intersection of supply and demand, history and luck. The America the Beautiful Quarters program inspired a massive wave of collecting. People of all ages started watching their change more closely, hunting for state quarters, national park quarters, and proof strikes. Within that environment, coins with errors, true, verifiable minting anomalies, gained increased attention. Coins like the 2013 Perry's Victory Quarter with its double die error are not simply damaged. They are rare products of a flawed but fascinating minting process. And in the world of coin collecting, rarity, especially when it occurs naturally and unintentionally, is gold. There's also the story it tells. Not just the history of the Battle of Lake Erie or the towering memorial built to honor it, but the modern story, the chance that somewhere in a roll of change an ordinary person could find something extraordinary. That's the magic of coins. They're more than metal, they're stories you can hold in your hand. Symbols of victories, of nations, of people long gone and ideals still standing. And that one Perry's Victory Quarter, flawed in just the right way, became a shining example of everything collectors dream of. Found in circulation, identified by someone with a sharp eye and a bit of curiosity, authenticated by experts, and ultimately sold for a life-changing sum. It's a story that inspires other collectors to keep looking, to keep searching, and to never overlook even the smallest coin. What makes it even more thrilling is that there could be more out there. Perhaps another Perry's Victory Quarter with a similar error slipped through unnoticed. Maybe it's sitting in a jar, in a drawer, or even already in someone's pocket right now. That potential keeps the hunt alive. It fuels a community that thrives on mystery, on the thrill of discovery, on the idea that a fortune might be found in the most unexpected places. So the next time you receive change at the store, or you find yourself flipping through coins out of habit, pause for a moment. Look closer. You might just find something rare, something historic, something worth far more than what its face value says. Because one day, someone held a 2013 Perry's Victory Quarter. They looked just a little bit closer, and what they found wasn't 25 cents. It was $65,000, and a story that would echo in the halls of modern numismatic history forever. There's something undeniably powerful about coins. They're more than just pieces of metal, more than legal tender. They are miniature monuments to history, culture, and the moments that shape a nation. And among the many coins minted by the United States over the years, few carry the weight of meaning quite like the 2019 American Memorial Park Quarter. It's not just another quarter in your pocket or jingling around in your change jar. No, this coin tells a story, one of sacrifice, resilience, and remembrance. And for collectors, it holds a value far beyond its face denomination. In fact, at the time of this telling, one particular version of this coin is valued at an astonishing $39,000. But before we get to that jaw-dropping figure, let's step back and understand where this coin came from, why it was created, what it represents, and how a simple piece of currency became such a prized collectible. The year was 2019, and the United States Mint was deep into its long-running America the Beautiful Quarters program. This initiative, launched in 2010, aimed to honor national parks and other federally protected sites across all 50 states, 5 U.S. territories, and the District of Columbia. Each year, 5 new designs were released, each representing a different location, with the reverse side of the quarter showcasing imagery inspired by the site. The program would ultimately span over a decade, producing a total of 56 quarters, including those representing the territories. Now, while many of these quarters celebrate natural wonders, like Yellowstone National Park, Yosemite Valley, or the Everglades, the 2019 American Memorial Park Quarter stands apart. It doesn't depict mountains or forests or sweeping vistas. Instead, it honors a place steeped in wartime history, a site dedicated not to nature, but to memory and peace. American Memorial Park is located on the island of Saipan, which is part of the Northern Mariana Islands, a U.S. territory in the Pacific Ocean. The park commemorates the bravery and sacrifice of American and Filipino servicemen during the Battle of Saipan in World War II, a brutal and pivotal campaign that took place in June and July of 1944. The battle was one of the bloodiest in the Pacific Theater, resulting in heavy casualties on both sides. For the Americans, victory meant securing a strategic base for future operations against Japan, including the eventual use of B-29 bombers flying from nearby Tinian. After the war, the area was transformed into a memorial site, honoring those who fought and died there. Today, American Memorial Park serves as a solemn reminder of the cost of freedom and the enduring bonds between nations. It includes a visitor center, a monument listing the names of thousands of missing U.S. service members, and a beautiful lagoonside setting that offers both reflection and recreation. So, when the U.S. Mint chose American Memorial Park as the subject for one of its 2019 quarters, it wasn't just picking a scenic location. It was choosing a place of immense historical significance, a place that symbolizes both loss and hope. Let's take a closer look at the design of the coin itself. The obverse, as always, features the familiar portrait of George Washington, the first president of the United States. This image, designed by John Flanagan and originally introduced in 1932, has become one of the most recognizable faces in American numismatics. Washington gazes to the left, his expression stoic and dignified, surrounded by the inscriptions United States of America, Quarter Dollar, and Liberty. The national motto, In God We Trust, appears above his head. The reverse, however, is where the story truly unfolds. Designed by Donna Weaver and engraved by Joseph Mena, the image depicts a soaring bald eagle flying over a flag-draped podium. Below, the words American Memorial Park curve along the bottom, while the state inscription reads, Northern Mariana Islands. The design is both symbolic and elegant, capturing the spirit of remembrance and reverence associated with the park. The eagle, a national emblem of strength and freedom, represents the enduring legacy of those who served. The podium, draped with the American flag, evokes the ceremonies held at the memorial, where veterans and families gather to honor their loved ones. It's a powerful visual made even more meaningful by the history behind it. Now, you might be thinking, if this coin is part of a nationwide series, how does it end up being worth $39,000? Surely millions of these quarters were produced. And you'd be right, millions were. But here's the twist. Within that massive mintage, a rare error variant emerged. A small number of 2019 American Memorial Park quarters were struck with a double die obverse, a minting error that results in a noticeable doubling of certain design elements, particularly in the lettering and facial details. Double die errors occur when a coin's die receives multiple impressions during the hubbing process, causing parts of the design to appear doubled or misaligned. These errors are highly sought after by collectors because they are both visually striking and extremely rare. In the case of the 2019 American Memorial Park quarter, a specific variety known as the DDR1 die doubling recognition has been identified, featuring clear doubling in the word Liberty and Washington's cheek and eye. This particular error is so subtle yet dramatic that it immediately catches the eye of experienced numismatists. What makes it even more valuable is that it was only discovered several years after the coin's release, meaning many of these error quarters likely circulated unnoticed, potentially ending up in everyday change or even melted down. As news of the error spread through collector circles, demand surged. Those lucky enough to have unknowingly acquired one of these rare quarters suddenly found themselves holding a treasure. Certified examples began appearing at major auctions, and prices climbed rapidly. By 2023, a PCGS-certified MS-67 specimen sold for $39,000, a staggering amount for a coin that was originally worth just 25 cents. But even beyond the error variant, the regular issue 2019 American Memorial Park quarter holds strong appeal among collectors. Its unique subject matter, connection to military history, and inclusion in the broader America, the beautiful series make it a must-have for completists. While most examples will only fetch a small premium over face value, especially in circulated condition, uncirculated and proof versions can still command impressive prices, particularly in high grades. Speaking of minting details, let's explore how this coin was produced. The U.S. Mint operates 3 primary facilities: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Each plays a role in the production of circulating and collectible coins. For the America the Beautiful quarters, Philadelphia and Denver typically handle the bulk of business strike, circulating production, while San Francisco produces the proof versions intended for collectors. The 2019 American Memorial Park quarter was no exception. Coins struck in Philadelphia bear no mint mark, while those from Denver carry a small D below the date. Proof versions, available through the Mint's annual sets and individual purchases, were struck at the San Francisco Mint and carry an S mint mark. These proofs are known for their mirror-like surfaces and frosted design elements, creating a stunning contrast that enhances the visual impact of the coin. It's also worth noting that the U.S. Mint produced special silver proof sets and enhanced uncirculated sets that included this quarter, further expanding its reach among collectors. These sets often come in pristine packaging with certificates of authenticity, making them popular among both casual hobbyists and serious investors. But perhaps the most fascinating aspect of this coin is the way it bridges two worlds, the historical and the numismatic. On one hand, it honors a sacred site tied to the sacrifices of World War II. On the other, it represents the thrill of discovery that drives coin collecting. For many people, finding a rare coin like this feels like uncovering a hidden piece of history. Something tangible, something real, something that connects us to the past in a deeply personal way. And for those who already own one or might stumble upon one in their change, there's a lesson to be learned. Never underestimate the value of a coin simply because of its denomination. Some of the most valuable coins in the world started out as everyday currency, quietly waiting to be noticed. In fact, stories abound of people discovering rare coins in unexpected places, old jars of loose change, inherited collections, estate sales, or even vending machines. The 2019 American Memorial Park Quarter with the double die obverse could very well be hiding in plain sight, tucked away in someone's wallet or piggy bank, waiting for its moment to shine. Of course, with such high values comes the inevitable rise of counterfeits and altered coins. Unfortunately, unscrupulous individuals have attempted to replicate the DDR1 error by artificially altering normal quarters or using chemical treatments to mimic the appearance of a genuine error. That's why authentication by a trusted third-party grading service like PCGS or NGC is absolutely essential. These organizations examine coins under magnification, verify their authenticity, and assign them a grade based on condition, ensuring buyers know exactly what they're getting. If you suspect you may have one of these rare quarters, there are a few things you can check. First, look closely at the obverse for signs of doubling in the letters of Liberty and in Washington's facial features. Use a magnifying glass if necessary. Second, weigh the coin. It should be approximately 5.67 grams, the standard weight for modern-clad quarters. Third, listen to the sound it makes when dropped on a hard surface. Genuine quarters have a distinct, ringing tone compared to fakes or altered specimens. But again, visual inspection alone isn't enough. If you believe you found a DDR1 error, the safest course of action is to send it to a professional grading service for verification. Looking back on the journey of the 2019 American Memorial Park Quarter, it's remarkable how a single minting anomaly can elevate a coin from obscurity to legend. What began as a routine commemorative issue has become one of the most talked about and valuable quarters in recent numismatic history. Its combination of historical significance, artistic design, and rare error variation has captured the imaginations of collectors worldwide. And now, as we approach the final stretch of our exploration, it's time to reveal the figure that brought you here. The current estimated value of the 2019 American Memorial Park Quarter with the DDR1 double die obverse error is $39,000. Yes, you read that correctly. $39,000 for a single quarter. Not just any quarter, mind you, but a rare and historically significant one that slipped through the minting process unnoticed until collectors uncovered its secret. Imagine pulling this coin from your pocket or finding it in a roll of quarters from the bank. You could literally hold tens of thousands of dollars in the palm of your hand without ever realizing it. That's the magic of numismatics, the possibility that treasure might be hiding in the most ordinary of places. So whether you're a seasoned collector, a history buff, or just someone who appreciates the beauty of coins, the story of the 2019 American Memorial Park Quarter is a reminder that sometimes the smallest objects carry the greatest weight. It's a tribute to the fallen, a testament to human resilience, and a thrilling example of how history and chance can collide in the form of a simple piece of metal. And that is the story of the 2019 USA $2 American Memorial Park coin.